What's going on, Amazon sellers? Welcome to Sterlinx, your home of tax for UK, Europe and USA. So today's topic I'm going to do is top 10 things to know about VAT in Europe for Amazon sellers. So if you're an Amazon seller and you are struggling to understand the VAT properly, or you have a few FAQs then to go through, this video is perfect for you. I've gathered only information which are important you must know about VAT in Europe as an Amazon sellers. So without wasting any more time, and let's jump into the topic right now. So out of those 10, I have got a top one for you at the beginning, which is number 1, learn the basics about VAT. A basic understanding of VAT. The European equivalent of US sales tax is critical for your market entry strategy. In this video, I will walk you through an overview of VAT, what it means for your business, and information on how to handle it. So moving to number 2, where to register for VAT. If you store your inventory in Europe, you are required to have a registered VAT where your goods are stored. Many selling partners start their EU journey by storing goods and registering for VAT in Germany and UK. Because the information required for UK and Germany, VAT is simpler than other European countries. Now, a lot of people would like to question this query as well. If I store my goods in the UK or Germany or any other regions in Europe, do I have to register for VAT in that country? The simple answer to that question is yes. It's not just that, it's also when you actually meet the threshold of the country. Now, threshold has been reorganized by the European Parliament and the taxation authorities in Europe. What they've done, they have brought in IOSS and OSS systems in place. So the thresholds work slightly different, which can be covered by a completely different video, so you understand what thresholds you need to meet or how OSS affects your business in Europe. However, to keep things simple, if you store products in any of the countries including UK or any part of Europe, such as Poland, Czech Republic, Italy, France, Spain, Germany, you have to register for VAT in those countries where your products are stored. How do you know where the products are stored? You simply know by sending the products into the actual Amazon warehouse of that country, or you might have got a 3PL warehouse or your own establishment in that country where you're storing the product with a foreign-based company or business. And that's when you meet the threshold to register for VAT. Now, registering for VAT is not enough. You have to make sure you also calculate and file the VAT on a regular basis, either periodically, confirming based on the turnover. Is it going to be monthly, quarterly or yearly? It depends on the country and the region, and you will be liable to register, compute and file the VAT regularly for those governments. So moving to number 3 of the actual sections. So most common issues Amazon sellers in Europe are having with VAT. Now, European accounts get suspended because of issues with local VAT authority. So it's a very, very important issue that you need to bear in mind. They only give you a few days or a couple of weeks to sort it out. And there are procedures that you can follow to keep your account active. To avoid it, all you need to do is some time upfront of planning and understanding your VAT obligations as an Amazon seller. Now, as Sterlinx, we offer these services to easily help with these issues. All right, so you can contact us to have further clarification or go through a free consultation, and we'll be more than happy to help you with the queries that you have. Number 4 of my video, coming to understand VAT obligations early on. Now, VAT isn't something I would trust to a non-well-known accountant. Given the complexity of VAT and how different it is from US sales tax, most sellers hire a European tax expert, and Sterlinx is the right place to go, of course. However, if you do tend to speak to somebody else who can handle the VAT for you in Europe, or UK, ensure that they fully understand the e-commerce side of things of the actual VAT. Now, getting a day-to-day traditional accountant is not going to be very helpful for you, because they need to have the full understanding of e-commerce, making sure they understand the Amazon statements, as well as how to calculate and compute the advertising tax, sales, Amazon tax that are on storage, as well as FBA, as well as import and duty for international business relations. Quite a few things that you need to consider when you're hiring an international VAT expert to deal with the European or UK VAT on a regular basis. Now, since this is a crucial part of your business in Europe, it is important that you get the right people on board to help you out to make sure you're fully compliant. Number 5 comes on my list is develop a strategy and prepare to launch. As soon as you've started thinking about selling in Europe, make sure you do your research on VAT. It is very important to do research on VAT, and there are lots of ways you can do that. Simple way to do is go on Google, or go into online forums or Facebook groups, Quora, as well as going into YouTube and listen to videos like this one, and understanding the obligations that you have. Also, have an expert work with you from the start, which is very important, because having an expert makes a massive difference, who can do consultation on a regular basis and help you on a day-to-day query based on an hourly basis, fees or something like this, and who you can trust to provide you the information that you require. VAT will obviously impact your strategy from the beginning, including pricing and fulfillment, so do make sure to have the correct calculations in place, because it can affect your profit and margin very badly if you do not get this correct. So, like for example, Amazon sellers make very slim margin, and that can vary between 10% to 25%. Now, if the VAT is 19% and you have not taken that into calculation or consideration, you are literally in a loss. So you need to make sure you price your products correctly, and calculate all those expenses you have to pay for, as well as VAT, and make sure you have a healthy profit margin. That's why it's important to deploy a strategy and preparing of a launching strategy as well. Number 6 on my list is be agile as you grow. Is extremely important, because things can change on a day-to-day basis depending on regulations, as well as depending on your supplier's mode, as well as the complexity you might have during the import or operating of this business while you're in Europe. Now, once you expand through pan-European FBA, Amazon moves the inventory along among 7 European countries based on customers' demand. Now, that could be 8 or 9 European countries depending on what day or in a month you're watching the video, because Amazon keeps expanding their reach all over Europe on a regular basis. Now, this means the seller must be VAT registered in all 7 countries if you are part of the pan-European FBA program. Okay. So number 7, outsource reporting to a European VAT service. Now, as you launch and grow your Amazon European business, tax filing will be required monthly or quarterly depending on the country. Sometimes it can be yearly as well. Rather than manage the report yourself, outsource it to a European VAT service, like I mentioned before on one of my previous topics, that you can register for VAT. However, reporting something is possible by yourself, but it's not an easy job to do, because a lot of things can go wrong, and later on it might come back to bite you. If you are planning to decent strategy, and also having a flawless process in place for your business, it's important that you hire an expert to do that filing for you. Don't try to figure it out VAT yourself. Again, pressing on that, unless you're a tax expert, don't try to handle this on your own. And the reason for it, because the actual the outcome can be very fatal, massive fees that can actually lead to your Amazon account suspension, or court proceedings, oh, I can't get my words together, sorry, or court proceedings against yourself or the company if you have not met the actual complexity of the compliance that's ahead of you in Europe. So it's important that don't try to figure it out yourself. Number 9 is hire a VAT expert, who understands Amazon in particular. Amazon can be very complex in terms of how they, organize their actual reporting, right? In some countries you may have to pay, may not have to pay, and in some countries you must pay, a certain, amount of the actual VAT. You also value the actual impact that you'll have from a tax expert who specializes in Amazon, because without it you don't really know if you're doing it right or wrong, because a tax expert will have the actual knowledge and up-to-date information, as well as they go through regular webinars to keep themselves informed with the regular updates the actual tax authorities have. Not all VAT experts understand the specific requirements of Amazon Europe and Amazon sellers in Europe, so it's important that you find basically tax specialist in Europe who deals with Amazon specifically, if you are just selling on Amazon, or if you're selling on e-commerce, they would usually cover Amazon as well. And number 10, do not ignore or delay your VAT registration. Now, doing so can lead to your account being suspended, given the potentially long processing time. Being VAT registered, begin VAT registration as soon as that is required. So now, without that VAT registration, you can't really move ahead of importing or anything into the country. So giving enough time before you begin is extremely important. So make sure you give at least 3 months prior to thinking of importing your products into Europe. So somewhere like Germany, France can take up to 3 months for VAT registration. Now, it's not due to that delays from the actual VAT agent like ourselves. I mean, we can prepare files and document it for you within 48 hours after you receive the information, or even 24 hours, but it's the actual major delays and backlog that you have actually from the tax offices in those countries. And this is where you must remember to have the actual waiting time. So plan ahead and give plenty of time, and make sure the registration is in the process while you're actually preparing the rest of the operations, just like suppliers and others. You may think there is a possibility of the 1% that you might not go ahead even if everything works out. So you still have the VAT registration done, because you can always do register for a small fee, and that's not going to really impact any of the accounts that you hold with Amazon, or your tax compliance in your local. But it's important. It's just important part of the business that you must have if you are planning for a launch. That's all really. So otherwise, I think I've covered a lot in this video. So thanks very much, and I'd like to congratulate you on learning a few important bits from this video. And if you have, I would like to thank you very much. If you could kindly press the like button or subscribe, or leave a comment if you have any question. So thanks very much, guys, and I will see you on the next one. All right, have a good one. Bye bye now.